Hello, mate.
You right?
See how quick I'm getting in now to Insta.
What's this second, third live today?
Second, I did the Just Jay's thing with Jess. Amazing. She smashed it. That was our first one. Yeah, that was really good. Really good, actually. Worth a watch. It was, it's dynamic. 27-year-old bloke, absolutely nothing in common whatsoever, brought together by the course, and just go at it. It's really good. It was really good. Who's in? Pandemicada. Yo, what's up? Oh, and Jess is in as well. There she is, just singing your praises, lady. You smashed it today. I came off with that. Wow.
I'm going to watch after as well, so I'm looking forward to that one. I've heard about it.
Well, tonight's a big one, Mr. Thomas. It's a good subject, a really good subject, and I'm going to let you introduce it.
Okay. So me and James have conversations pretty much about everything in life now, meaningful conversations. And a big part of my life was a lot of trouble that I used to get myself into, which always involved alcohol. And I got to a point where it really affected my life, affected all the people in it, and I got myself into a really bad state, I guess. And I decided to completely knock it on the head. And that was about 3 years ago in March. And my whole life has completely changed from that. And it's not the alcohol, it's everything that's come with it. And I think that's a big part of my journey. And it's something that I like to talk about my story on that one, because it has been so impactful for me. But along that way, I've met a lot of other people, and it's inspired them, or they've inspired me. And yeah, there's loads of teachings and insights that you get from it. So I'd like to put that out there, really.
So you quite openly, you had a problem you feel with alcohol.
The problems that come in my life.
That man, just shout out to you.
That's Matty from Fitness First.
Is that Matty from Fitness First? Matty, what a diamond. Mate, shout out to you, brother. Loads of love. That's wicked. Sorry, Hazard. That's lovely. Blast from the past.
Yeah, so if I'm thinking back, I used to get myself, when I went out, I'd get drunk. I had no off button. I always had a bad memory. I always forgot my nights. Always woke up with regret. Always did stupid stuff. It was like my mates would send me into the nightclub and expect something stupid, or I'd be the imbecile one doing stuff without even thinking about it, just completely lost. And that became an identity for me as well. But as I started getting more responsibilities in life and my business and stuff, it weren't serving me at all. And I went through a period where I did get arrested more than once, all drink related, all wrong place, wrong time. But I'm not aggressive. I'm cheeky, very cheeky. And and it got to a point where I was in a cell in Spain for 40 hours in my swimmer shorts, and I didn't know why. I didn't know how I got in there. I literally was staring at the cell with piss coming in from the other cells, and I literally was like, I've got no control of my life right now. And yeah, after that, I just said I'm not drinking ever again, and that's been 3 years in March.
That's amazing. And do you know what? It's very serious what you said, but we know the way we laugh about it, and why we laugh about it is because this is it's to be okay with that fact. I mean, what's interesting is, I mean, really funny, Matt popped up then because it reminded me. So I called you when we first met. That was like your journey into that life, really, wasn't it? Because I remember going out with you and Alex and your mate to that party, and off your trolley. God, you was only, how old was you then?
20.
20. Wow. I remember thinking, yeah, he's off his tits when he's off his tits. Oh dear, mate. But listen, to come back, I have, and awful issue if I get drunk is that I black out, literally black out, and have no memory whatsoever. And the thing is, I'm open hands up in the air, take this one. I'm not a nice drunk, and it's an awful thing. And it's interesting because for me, I'm not going to go into it on this, but it clearly now dealing where this all sort of started for me and in a dark place, it makes perfect sense that somewhere along the line, my wiring as that feeling of like, because honestly, Hazza, like you said, I've woke up. I never forget one night. I went out with, funny enough, one of the guys I met when I was banged up, really lovely fella, Kay from South London. We went out, and it was I was being so good. I was on parole at the time, right? And we went out to a club in what's that club in? It's a big one. It's in Chinatown. Anyway. He was the designated driver this night. That was it, agreed. So, cool, because I went with my go, I held my peace. But anyway, point being, the last thing I remember that night was me thinking, right, time to go home. Thank goodness Kay's driving home, right? And so I went looking for him. Where is he? I found him standing up asleep against a pillar. So, and that's the last thing I remember. But what actually, then I woke up, in the prison cell, and it is awful because you also don't know, and this is a serious side, you don't know what you could have done in that period. Thank goodness. Have you seen, again, this isn't funny, but do you know that film, what's the film with Leonardo DiCaprio where they do the drugs and he imagines him driving home one way and then you see actually how he drove home?
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street. Right, so I thought I must have been that driving normally. I must have thought that, but when the police spoke to me in the morning, they said, you know, we followed you for about 3/4 of a mile and you was just literally scraping on every single car from one road to the other. And I thought, why didn't you stop me earlier, first and foremost? Why did you let me do so much damage? But anyway, awful feeling. So it's not funny. I could have hit someone. All joking aside, I could have hit someone and killed them, and that's not funny at all. So yeah, there is, alcohol's really dangerous. You know, the fact that it's legal, and am I right? I'm sure I'm not far off the mark when I say it's as addictive as the most addictive type of drugs, and kills more or as much as any other Class A drug. I don't think I'm far off the mark with that.
There's loads of stats to show that it's the most harming substance that we use in terms of how it affects people. Death rates are high from there, but it's the things that it leads to. I think I call it now, and again, guys, I'm not telling you that this is the way that you should be and you should stop drinking. I'm just telling it from how I've experienced it and what it's done for my life. But I ever since it's been out of my life, I see it as the poison, because all the bad things that happened were with alcohol. I've done drugs before, but the alcohol made it worse. I forgot my nights because of the alcohol. I went into stupid mode because of the alcohol. It was like I didn't need that bit, but it was the easiest thing to get your hands on, which was legal, obviously. You could literally drink as much as you want and go, and you just disappear. And I wasn't happy where I was, and that was an escape. And it was this, I call it like your character that you play. Like I was then known as that stupid idiot, but I had to that stupid idiot like place first of all to be that person, and then you wake up with regret and what you said, like not knowing. Having that to live with, of something happening that bad and you don't even remember, but yet everyone knows that you did it, that for me eats me away inside. And it affected my life, but it was the other people close to me, like my parents. I have to phone them up and say where I am, my business partner, the amount of times where I fucked up and that's impacted our business, and it's around you as well. So it goes more than just on yourself, and I think that's what really was my suffering. It was like, wow, I'm just letting myself down with all the people that I love.
Mm.
I'm just actually not in control of, which I could have been. So yeah, it's been I'd say my own spiritual awakening from that, because from deciding not to do it first of all and sticking to something you've decided to do, that's empowering on its own. But on that journey along the way, which I'll cover some of the points that I've picked up from there, that's then really excelled me. And you've seen my change over the last 3 years. That I put a lot of it down to that first point of deciding that it's not serving me. I don't want it in my life at all anymore.
It's interesting because we've really properly reconnected over the last 3 years since this all took place. And it's funny, if you had been, even if you was doing what you're doing now, but still being hazard on the drink, it would be hard. I don't think I would have took you on as my life coach in the first place, to be completely honest with you. Only because, and that's very stereotypical and egotistical of me, but I would have seen something as a flaw, being completely honest. And again, this isn't telling someone not what they should or shouldn't be doing. The reason I'd be seeing it as a flaw is because I see it as a flaw in myself. So to then sit and know that, yeah, it's a difficult one. It would have been, sorry, that keeps turning. It would have been, you were different. That's why, that is definitely why. And I mean, just to put things in perspective as well, from my experience, okay, so when I was away, okay, when I was in prison, the amount of people that were in prison on manslaughter charges and it was all drink, blacked out. I don't remember what happened. I was drunk in a bar. Don't remember. I pushed someone, fell over, banged his head, died. Now, honestly, I'm not exaggerating it. It's a very common conviction, and that person is often, you can see, that's theirs to live with as well. We say about living in the now and staying present. That's very difficult. I can only imagine when you've got something like that on your conscience as well. And it is mate, what you did was a big thing. Stopping drinking when you've already had experiences like I can share. It's not a judgment, where you've blacked out and could have done anything, absolutely anything, and you wouldn't have been sitting here now, and you would have been, your soul would have been in a different state of damage. I could only think that anyway, because it's that feeling of dread when you wake up. What have I done? It's that. Yeah, and that's the soul thing. Your soul waiting for you. Like, wait till you fucking wake up. And as soon as you wake up, go, just look at you. What? And it's then for me knowing I ain't gonna remember. I'm gonna find out and not remember.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And we keep talking about the soul, but that's a perfect example of when we have something. The alcohol, most people, they go out and they will say, I don't want to drink tonight. I really don't fancy drinking. And yet so many people have had that thought, of that they've said it, and yet they wake up the next day, or they go to bed the next day at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then there's that regret because you lied to yourself. And that is your soul suffering, because your words are commanding. So if you say you're going to do something, you don't, you beat yourself up. Same like going to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym today, and you don't. And you feel so shit for it, but you still don't go. Your soul suffering there. So by telling, like, something about alcohol where it really fucked my life up, and it was a point where I had to change. For me to say, no, I'm not drinking anymore. If you met, like, there'd be drinkers, lads, and that, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, you pussy, boring. Like, I don't trust people who don't drink. I'm like, okay, so boring. And so all these things initially, I'd have to justify the reason why. I'd have like a wine glass and pretend it was wine, but it's water. And I was drinking elderflower just at a wedding. And yeah, to start with, it was that trying to justify the reason why to be cool and fit in. But from an energy standpoint and all the spiritual stuff, you're giving away your power all the time. Like, you've decided to do something, yet you're still trying to justify it. But the moment I started speaking my truth, and it was some friends from Belgium, drinkers, and I took them to a nice place in London. They must have had about 13 pints, and every round, come on, have a drink, go on, don't be so boring. And I said, nah, I'm not drinking. Nah, I'm not drinking. And the difference is no, I'm not. Oh, I don't want to drink tonight. I'm not going to have a drink, maybe not. They sense that. As soon as you say no, with confidence, they won't, they're asked, but then like the whole change, I'm confident with it. I don't drink. There's not even a why not. I just, it doesn't serve me. I'm happy. I'm really happy with life at the moment. They can't challenge that. That's then I realise that's their insecurities. So I don't want to keep waffling. We'll go back and forth, but I've got so many insights from how people react to you when you say you're not drinking. And there's 3 reactions that normally happen. One where they don't care. It's just, okay, cool. There's ones where they try justifying. They got a drink in hand, and they'll be like, I don't normally drink, and I don't really have that much, just now and then. And it's like, it's cool. It's cool. And then you get the people that just don't trust you. Like, they won't even talk to you. And before, again, it's like, why are they not talking? Now I've realised that there could be some truth in there's some insecurity on their side, that they're going to be that character, and I now can see it. I can remember all of it. It's not like we're doing it together. Or they're not impressed with the way that they act, and they might think that I'm coming from a judgment place, which I don't. And it's really interesting to watch people. Even dating before, when I was going on dates, I got a fun story on that one as well.
Got it.
So, yeah, you're going on dates and stuff. You want to impress, right? So if you say, "Oh, I don't drink," that could be an instant off-put. So one girl come in, and she sits down, good looking, and she goes, "Oh, I'm dying for a drink." Pulls a wine menu. What are you drinking? So I'm like, I don't drink alcohol. I loved it. What? Start shaking. It's shaking. And then I was like, it's cool. Like, honestly, you have it all. And she's like, and she's looking for like a non-alcoholic drink, but she's reading the wine menu. She's like, where's the non-alcoholic? And wait, and that's the wine menu. And it was really interesting. Like, she was so uncomfortable because the one thing that she wanted to do, not being comfortable with herself, to get slaughtered and then be okay with that. And that's how I used to do dates. I used to go in, you get smashed, you go back, don't remember, have some fun, and da-da-da. That's not really getting to know someone. Is that the person to be with? You don't remember any of it?
You don't remember it. That's the worst thing. Yeah. Oh, don't. Yeah, I'm not going to trade stories with you. You can take that and keep that one. No, but I mean, again, this is what I mean, and this is the problem with drink. It is poison. It is a fact. You keep drinking alcohol, it's going to kill you in one way or another. Like, that's not a myth. But yet it's been normalised so much. It's cheap as well. You know, you think how cheap you can get alcohol for. It's another thing, and readily available. But yet, again, serious subjects: domestic violence, child abuse. Like, there's so many things that it's again. People blame alcohol. It's, at the end of the day, it's not the alcohol. It's not. It's your choice to drink the alcohol as well. And as I say, I'm looking at myself when I say that every time, because I've, like you said, I'm in that stage of I'm stopping drinking. What do I mean? I'm stopping drinking. You either stop and you've stopped, and because it's a definitive. That's it. Or I'm excusing myself. But the truth is, because I've cut back so much and I haven't got drunk in so long, why do I even have the odd one? And it's not judging, again. So people say, oh, I just have the odd one to relax. Okay, for myself, I could just relax and play with a Leo. Leo, do you know what I mean? And so yeah, and this is a problem across the. I mean, we're similar-ish of age, 33, 39. Our sort of generation, that's all it was, wasn't it? I mean, we was working as personal trainers. You still are. Even I was fit back then. We was going out and basically just undoing everything we'd done for a week in a night by getting on it. And yeah, there was a lot of fun times. You know, it's part of growing up as well. Well, again, is it? If you choose it to be, I suppose. But what it leads to and the damages it causes for, like you said earlier, like your mum and dad. Oh, mate, I remember one birthday. Oh, it's terrible. So I drove back from South London, Woolwich, to East London. To this day, I don't remember a part of that drive. I was only young, you know, at the time. I was early 20s. It was on my birthday as well. Driving back to my family home. For some reason, was convinced, even though the whole family were in waiting for me for my birthday, that no one was answering the door. So I climbed over next door neighbour's fence, fell over, like, you know, just a complete, absolute mess. And I look back on it and I think, that's terrible. You know, if you saw yourself doing that, imagine seeing yourself doing the stuff that you've done to end up in Spain in that, you'd think, what a twat. What an absolute twat. What am I thinking? That's what interests me, for me, is what happens when I have blacked out. Because I know I'm not, at first I used to think, am I just saying it because I'm embarrassed? Is my mind that strong that I could just, it's not. Like, there's definite blackout, 100% there's blackouts. What is then in action in that blackout? Is it my soul? If that's my soul, then I'm an arsehole. Because the shit you do is not nice. Do you know what I mean? It's dangerous as well. It can be nasty. I've got into fights. Don't remember them. Woke up with black eyes. How bad is that? You know, I've potentially hurt another human being and not even remember. It's terrible when you break this stuff down, really. It's not funny. It's not laddish either, none of this. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It is. It has a massive impact as well. It's. You said it. I used it with my clients. Imagine just recording your whole night. And what people do when they're drunk, they get on tables and they jump on the head first onto the floor and they run and do handstands in a club and fall over. And what are you doing? Like, really think about it. Are you impressing anyone? Not really. At the time, it might be funny. Are you looking after yourself? Not really. It's quite dangerous. Are you? Yeah. And then you've got that identity for a long time that people know you as. And again, I work with people where that is their character. The lad that goes out and drinks 24 pints and they can handle it. And the suffering comes for the rest of the week. It's added on with the anxiety and all the stress from work. You're setting yourself up for failure by putting that much stress on yourself in the first place. Like, it's something that I would get people, just pay attention to the whole journey of it, because yes, in the moment you're enjoying it all, but really ask yourself, like, is this worth it the next day? Because if you can go out and say, yeah, I'm drinking tonight, I'm going to have a few, I know, and you wake up in the morning, at least you can deal with that headache and that hangover because you prepared yourself, you've communicated with your soul. But it's when you say, I'm not doing it, watch the suffering, especially the older you get. It hits you so hard, but yet I used to blame work for my anxiety and stress. It wasn't. I used to go really hard at the weekends because I used to hate where I was in life. And my weekends was relaxing. But if you look at it from my body was working overtime trying to fucking keep me sober. And with all the stress I was putting on it, my body's not relaxing. It's the same with clients that go on holiday for that 1 week a year and they get smashed every single day. That's not relaxing. Yeah, you're switching off from life, but your body's hurting every single day. And then you're going back into your life, which you meant to have a break from, more stressed.
Mm. I don't know why, I just had, because you see some people join, it'd be really interesting to see from a female's perspective as well. because obviously I remember girls that were very similar, and just how it affected them. Because yeah, it'd just be interesting if it is that same dreaded. It probably would be, wouldn't it? If just what have I done? Because that is the worst part about it is the second you wake up, it hits you, and then it is, and the soul, you get that message of you've done it again. You know, like in yourself, oh, I've done it again.
Yeah.
What's my excuse this time? Oh, I'm never gonna do it again. Really? You said that quite a few times. No, this time it's different. Why is it different this time? What different reason can I give from the last time I said it? Do you know what I mean? It is farcical, and I've had to do that with, like, my wife. Again, this is definitely stuff that's been relevant in my marriage. Thankfully not for a long time, and I don't intend it to be at all. But yeah, it's not nice. It's definitely not nice. I've let my kids down when, it's definitely, well, not in Aaliyah's lifetime, but definitely in Leo's lifetime. And it is this, my son has definitely got, I genuinely know from memories that I've got, that he's going to have memories where he will just think, what was wrong with dad? What a shitty thing to do to your son. To be normally the way you are when you are conscious and being present, because that's something when you're drunk, you're definitely not present. You are 100% not present. You're the furthest possible thing from being present when you're drunk. And yeah, so to know that at some stage he's probably, and just left him in a state of wonder. Why he shouldn't have to do that ever. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's not nice.
That bit where you said you're so far from being present, because people always say, "Oh, the truth comes out. Your true self comes out when you're drunk." I'm like, nah. Oh, that ego is literally, that's his playground now, because you have no control of it at all. You've let that go into the ego's hands, and you regret it the next day, because it's like going to sleep. You don't know what happened for them 8 hours. But the problem is you're awake doing stuff and having conversations with people. That's scarier. It's like, and then you somehow make it home out of this whole night you've lost. Get home. And yeah, it's. I remember in Thailand, I went with first night in Thailand. I woke up, I had blood all on my face, stuck to the pillow. It's like I'd been attacked by a cat or some scratch. Me and my mate had cuts in his face. Don't remember. Somehow got back to our home in the mountain. Don't remember. And it's that feeling, and that was the last time where it hit me. Is I hate not knowing. I don't like that feeling, because when I say it's not me, it wasn't me. And then trying to justify what I was doing, but by not knuckling, like it's like a losing battle straight away. I honestly think it's been my spiritual awakening, the giving up the alcohol, because from the back of that, you take back your power, and you realize at a certain point when you take it back is when people say, "Oh, come on, have a drink." When you, first of all, you're giving your power away, just justifying your actions and feelings, and then you start taking back your power. Now, don't do it, and they get used to it. That becomes you. That's your new character. But at the moment when you first make that decision, people don't know who you are anymore. You don't know who yourself anymore. Now you've got to deal with this new you. But turn it into a game. Like, I used to now remember all my nights out. I now watch my mates have a drunk conversation with each other. None of them making sense, but yet they know exactly what they're saying to each other. And then there'd be others that, whose round is it? And they're arguing. I'm like, it's your round. It's your round. It's great. I used to have all these nights out. I literally don't remember my nights out. I couldn't tell you what bar I went to. I couldn't tell you who was playing the music. I can't tell you the conversations, but yet I was still in that night out. That's how bad I was in terms of memory. I didn't even drink a lot in some of the cases, but I think I used to go in, I've got a bad memory on drink. I used to tell myself that, and that's what happened.
Programmed yourself. And give yourself an excuse as well. What a lovely defense. Oh yeah, I remember I said I got a bad memory. Lovely stuff. I'm not going to remember any of this. Oh dear. But no, on a serious level, you've done it for 3 years. That's incredible. That, like I said, that's been the length of our friendship, if you like. So I've seen a huge change in in you, massive change for the better. And yeah, that, like you said, less anxious, because these are all the side effects of the drink. And things like that anxiety of it, I genuinely think that is your soul just going tap 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 tap, just because you know it's it, and you know it is really. Why I'm anxious because I know what I did was wrong. Why I'm anxious because I know I'm going to do it again on Friday. So you let go in that period, and yeah, I mean people are, and this is very close to home for me as well. You know, there's many people that are functioning alcoholics on a daily basis. They justify it by, I go out to work, I get up, I go out to work. Was that, sorry, the sound went?
It's only 2 pints.
Yeah, that's it. It's just helped me settle my nerves every night. Okay, and yeah, the thing is, our bodies are built to tolerate and develop tolerance in anything. So of course, just that one beer, that don't make me feel easy anymore. It's the same cycle we all know, but like I've done that. I'll 100% have done that. Thankfully, not anymore. Like every now and again, which is still shit. I'd love to be able to say to you, Heather, for the last year, I ain't had a drink, and I could do if I chose to be strong enough to do so. And that's something I'm scared to say I am because I've got to commit to it. But that's something I would take. Huh?
That's okay though, because look, we're all a different part of our journeys. I've done it. I feel great, and yeah, I encourage people to give it a go. But being okay with drinking, because it is a social element to life. Like people go out and love their night out. Like that's cool. Well, my ask is just be more present even when you are drinking. Like I am going out and I'm going to have a good night and I'm going to have free and I'm going to be okay with that and stick to that with that much confidence. And you're fucking amazing doing it because you stuck to what you said. It's the bit where you're not. So you not drinking, that's fine. But then your thing could be, I'm going to drink on the occasions when I want to drink, and I'm going to enjoy the drink when I had that drink, and I'm going to set my rules and be present in that moment so I can still remember my night out. If you have them intentions, then that's the first bit. Boom, I've ticked that, succeed. And then you can say, what can I do this time? Actually, I'm just going to have one drink this time. Like, that's your choice, but you don't have to then turn it into a negative, or I wish I would do that. Maybe at some point you know that that's the way you're heading, but it's all part of the journey anyway. It's like it just had something really like that moment in Spain for me to be like, I can't do this anymore. I've got no control at all. And I have potential, I know I do. And at this moment in time, it's going to be just sitting here, lonely, not being used. And yeah, it was a big slap in the face for me, massive slap in the face.
Well, I'm glad you had it, obviously. I've had definitely my fair share of slaps to...
Well, we've shared a few nights out as well, haven't we? Where we just... Yeah. Oh, God.
I know. Some of the nights with Ben and Colsey and all that. My God. But, like I said, the thing is, at the time, you're oblivious. It's almost, you just want to... Oh, yeah, we've got to go... Like you say, oh, yeah, we've got to go out. There's so many times you don't want to go out. You don't want to go out. And then you regret it as well, just to top it off. You regret it. You missed the night bus and all that sort of. Oh, don't. It's horrible. But yeah, no. I mean, it's a great journey that you've come on, and by doing it, obviously, it's had an indirect, massive influence on me because obviously we started the life coaching. Now I'm a life coach as well, so it shows you, doesn't it? Ripple effect. Because yeah, I just don't think it. I know it would have been different because it would have been different. Simple as that. It's not a case of judging the drink. No, just be honest. That's another thing. Don't excuse it. No, that was a factor of me that would have been considered when sitting in front of someone else, knowing that they know that's a factor of me and that's something that they've got. Do you see what I'm saying? It's that. Yeah, it would have been an interesting conversation. Actually, it really would have been. Because I said to her, I should go for a drink. Do you know what I mean? But cool.
It's the the other advice that I would encourage as well is when it is the sorry, what's I going to say then? Important thing then. I'll come back to that in a minute. It was the I literally completely lost my thought there, mate. I had something really
Been
powerful.
drinking? Have you been drinking, Sunshine?
No, I had something really powerful that'll come back to me in a moment. It's
Don't worry. Yeah, like, do you know what's interesting? I've got to be straight. I'm battling, really. I know you say, yes, it's okay. It's fine. No judgment. It's okay. People can have a drink. I know for me, I just shouldn't drink. I know that. Do you know what I mean? It is, I can't even say I don't want to. So if I didn't want to, I wouldn't. It is really that simple with these things. So it is, at some point, I need to make that call. Definitely. It makes the glaringly obvious things that obviously you think your kids first. You know, what do you want to be for your child? Oh yeah, my dad don't drink. That sounds nice. Do you know what I mean?
When you think of all your biggest mistakes in life and the ones that involve alcohol, and if you then added meaning and started teaching your kids from your experiences that a lot of time we don't normally express because we're too embarrassed, and that's where I was leading to after, that's still your past, right? And your past is what got you to this moment now. But what tends to happen is when people come off the drink, it becomes their identity that they're now sober. They was an alcoholic, and I did it, and that becomes their new their new identity. It's like I don't drink anymore, and it's been a great year because I've had no alcohol. So I get people stop talking about what you haven't had, start talking about what you have had. It's been a great year. I've gone out every night, and I've just drunk water, and I've remembered everyone. I had a great time. The alcohol doesn't need to be your definition anymore. It doesn't need to be character because that was your past and that's the past that you wasn't proud of. So now being a sober guy, is that who you are sober? Not really. It's you're now living life, right? So it's to let go of all these past things because yeah, I'm not proud of a lot of the stuff I've done. But now I can take loads of teachings and meanings from it, and the loved ones and the people that I'm now coaching, I can at least share my story with my pain points, but also know that yeah, I've let that go now. And by me telling this story, I'm hoping that that will stop people going through the suffering that we've had to go through from our own experiences. And it's that identity bit which I'm encouraging people. Don't let something in your past become your new identity from not doing that anymore. Go and focus on what you are doing in life, and that becomes your identity of being this free spirit, living and getting excited, rather than keep. If it's not mentioned in your life, it will not show up in your life. But if you keep saying, "Oh, it's been a great year, no more alcohol," da 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 da, yeah, they're achievements, but it's still there. It's still there all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it is. It's still in. You're still keeping it in your reality because you're using it as a gauge. Oh, I used to do that, so you're still there. Well, no, I'm not. So what have you got going on now? It is as simple as that, because what you got going on now isn't that. So you don't need to gauge that as what you're doing currently, because you're not doing it anymore. But yeah, I suppose that's still part of the cycle. People coming off of it, then that's why people go back to it. And I was sober for 2 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just I am. That's all it needs to be. Again, that notion that we always say, just bang your head. Imagine if you banged your head and you completely forgot everything, but you were told that if you have this drink alcohol, it does not serve you to your optimal. It will pull some of your energy away. So if you know that, then it's your choice. You can choose to have it and choose not to, but you don't have to worry about anything that's happened before because you don't remember.
Really true. Because if someone said to me that donk on the head and then just said, right, just so you know, you, when you drink that, you piss in your mother-in-law's house on the stairwell, been naked in your brother-in-law's house, that ridiculous, you'd go, what?
Yeah, or it
That's
could be
poison.
a video of that. Like you just banged your head. Look, so when you drink alcohol, this is you. That there and that there. You'd be like horrified. We didn't have
Horrible.
microphones really when we were first started drinking. We had like the little 3310s and stuff like that. But
Thank God, mate.
yeah,
Thank God. Could you imagine?
that's what I cringe even more.
Mate.
People,
Could you imagine?
I'd be a YouTube sensation, mate.
For all the wrong reasons. Oh, don't. That's a good point, you know. Thank goodness the camera phones came later. Because, yeah, 100% people would have been... Yeah, it's not a nice look, is it? It's not a nice look.
And the more you thrive in life, that's still your past. And if it's out there, it will come back to haunt you unless you get that out of your system and admit to it and actually like take it as part of your story. This is where suffering comes in as well, because we're so ashamed of certain things or embarrassed or fear or stuff, we keep it inside us.
Yeah.
And over time that eats away at us, even if we don't think about it anymore. And that's where I really feel like if we can express ourselves, or we have platforms like this where people can come on and just literally say how it's making them feel or what it gives people that opportunity to let it go, which is really tough when it is something like this.
Yeah, because this is a subject, this will be raw for a lot of people if you're really honest with yourself. I know there's plenty of people that just know that when they do it, they're going to regret it. You know it when you're, there is that sort of person. I am and have been that sort of person. I know, well, I'm good. Oh, fuck it, I'm just going to have a couple. And again, it is, because then you just think, why did I bother have a couple? What was the point, if anyway, of where did that get you? Absolutely nowhere, you know? So, yeah, it's going to be a subject, male or female, as well. Like I said, this definitely transcends. There's nothing to do with sex, this one. It's just been a big part of our culture. Oh, Brits abroad. Oh, okay, when I go abroad, I need to act like a Brit. Do you know what I mean? Because I just think, because I worked as a rep in Cyprus in Anapa when it first sort of launched. And, fucking hell, the behaviour. My God. I look back and I just think, what's she doing? What was you doing?
To call yourself British when you go on holiday like that. Like,
Yeah.
because it's a mass free-for-all.
You're in good top one.
But again, I think people have to have these experiences. That is a part of life. But I think so accustomed to that being the norm of going away, getting plastered, going away with your mates, getting wrecked. Like, that's a very British thing to go and do, because even you look at from the football fans, how many other countries hate British fans? And I put a lot of that down to the alcohol and then what comes with that.
Do you know what? Here's one of the first spanner into that, though, which came to me straight away. And this is interesting. I can name you a sport where not only even in England, you're still allowed, as far as I know, to drink. You sit with the opposing fans. And even when you go rugby. Isn't that interesting? Football, you can't sit with your opposing fans. You're not allowed to drink. Yet that's where all the trouble happens. That's an interesting one. If you think about it, because it's the truth. It's straight away comes to, I thought, rugby. Different. Isn't that strange?
But again, the media and stuff, rugby's not really in the limelight, whereas football, it's like a soap show every time, like a reality TV show. Football.
Yeah, it is. Yes, that is. It is. Football is in that drink society. It really is. Because the footballers are seen to be doing it. Yes, and the funny thing is, the media will tell you that rugby are much bigger drinkers, but they're classier. You know, and you rarely hear of, you know, what's his name, Maguire recently, when the Man United defender, what he done in Greece, you know, and the shit he was coming out of. You've seen the clips, the stuff he's coming out of. Fucking what a knock. But that is personifies then what Man United fans will look up to. Where Barry Maguire done it in Greece, where? Fucking what? What? You absolute dick. Like, But yeah, it's a part of that is a laddish culture. Actually, that is definitely with the football thing. That is a laddish culture, which I definitely got caught up when I was young with West Ham. I mean, you just played. That I'm not a big drinker. I can't handle drink. you just, but you'll just go there and you think, right, this is the role I'm going to play today. Always ends up messy. Always ends up messy with lots of regrets, kebab stains that you can't even remember eating, and yeah, and it's someone's house. So, well,
I remember them nights as well. The kebab after. That's the extra calories, the crap
no.
body, the lack of sleep. Like the money you spend as well when you have them horrible nights and you keep pulling out receipts out your pocket and you're like, what? Yeah, so like the benefits, like I've become a lot wealthier from not. There's a really good book actually that I read straight away that someone recommended me. It was called The Unexpected Joys of Being Sober, and it's a really powerful book. Like this woman in the city of London had a problem. Like you realise actually people do have serious issues every day, drinking, different guys coming back to the house, the regret and all of it. The way that people interact with you, the way that people feed off of your suffering and take advantage of you, and you're just like it adds up. Honestly, it's a real self-discovery when you start playing around putting these different rules in or saying I'm not drinking for a month and then you succeed from that. It's a great feeling. You feel healthier, you're sleeping better, you've done something you said you're going to do. Yeah, there's so many positives from it, but I'm saying that from a personal experience, not to just throw it out there and you've got to stop. If you're in a place where you're not enjoying life at the moment, and if you really be honest with yourself, ask yourself, does that involve things like alcohol and drugs and stuff? Because if you can be really honest and accept that that is a part of it, then at least you know that something needs to change for you to be happier.
100%.
And then it's that knowing that, okay, if something needs to change, I have to do it. I can't blame my mates always make me drink, or God, I have to have a glass of wine with my missus. Really? Do they love you because you have the glass of wine, or do they love you for you? And if they don't, are they the right person for you?
Really true. And I was going to say, I mean, what is, again, irrefutable, and we all know it, but maybe we need to know it and really feel it, is the fact that you drink to lose yourself. That's what you know. You're going to drink and you're going to get drunk. What is the definition of being drunk? It's an altered mind state. So you're seeking something else because for whatever reason you're not happy with your actual mind state. And if you are, then that's the addiction. It's that you, oh no, I know I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. So then you can also be aware, okay, that is, and again, this is where what you've done amazingly is been aware that, okay, that's an addiction. Look, you look at what it's doing, and at some point you was like in the Spanish cell, you was like, okay, I cut off now. You noticed it. You must have, but you noticed something. So it was noticed. It was acknowledgement, resonated, and then you put it into action by just literally saying, I don't drink. I don't drink. And like you said, it is that mantra, because not many people do. It is the line that you said earlier of, oh, I really don't want to go out tonight and have a drink. It is ridiculous. It really is. I don't want to drink tonight. I might have one. We all do it. We all do it. And yeah, I think it's admirable that you've stuck to it. Because another thing, it's not living in the past, but it's still something you're continuously not doing. And being that it is so readily available, like I said, it's not as if it's visually there. So again, you've switched off even visually from it, because every shop you go into, it's, you know, where do they put it? Right where you're paying. With the cigarettes. Here's the deaf section.
Here's one for you. This shows how people are really struggle just to be with themselves. Just holding a glass in your hand on a night out. If you haven't got a glass in your hand, what do you normally do when your mate's gone to the toilet? You're literally like, where am I?
Yeah, I don't know what to do with my hands. Oh my God, what are these?
can't just be with ourselves. Like literally, just be and watch. If you go out for dinner with your friend or like your missus and that, they go to the toilet. Watch how you go automatically. People just go straight for the phone. I always watch people now because I stop myself from doing it. I'm like, right, let me just pay attention to what's going on. And it's awkward that I'm just sitting here. I feel awkward. They're like, because I'm not doing something. That Another thing that I started learning is I become more aware of just the automatic things that I would do. And now it's like break that. Yeah, it's like different levels of awareness. So I kind of turn them into different games now. I'm listening to conversations. I'm watching who's the most drunkest on that table. I'm listening to my mates' things just to pick up for something the next day. And then I enjoy the nights out, all the nights that I had missed before, all of it. I'd missed the whole thing. And I'm like, that was a good DJ. I like that song. That was a really nice sofa in the club. Didn't know that before.
Oh dear. It's true. It's true, mate. Well, thank you very much for being so open. It's a good subject because it is real. It is real for me and for many other people. And yeah, people, if they want to reach out and have a chat and just share, reach out. You know, that's what it's all about. Is engaging with people and all of us learning off each other. But yeah, nice one, Haz. I appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you for the space as well. And let's talk health this weekend as well, guys. So it'd be good to get some topics from you, and we'll get you involved. And then also we're inviting people onto our conversations now as well, because we love having good chats.
Definitely. Yeah, we've got a lot to come actually. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, those that have, and loads of love. Cheers, mate. I'll speak to you soon, yeah?
Take care, guys. Cheers, James.
Bye.